welcome to the first episode of my sub 3 hour marathon prep series. Throughout this series, I'm going to be taking you along with me and showing you some of the things that I'm doing to prepare for the 2023 Houston Marathon on January 15th. So for today's long run, we have a 14-mile easy run, which for me is around an 8 to 8:30 minute per mile pace. So we're going to go ahead and get this run started, and I'll catch up with you on the road whenever we get a little bit more daylight. That's 8 miles, 8:31 for that last mile. We got 6 left. So that's it, 14 miles completed in 2 hours and 2 minutes at an average of 8:45 minute per mile pace. So a lot of you still may be wondering, 1, what are easy runs and why are they important? 2, what does my current training schedule look like? And 3, what the heck does it even mean to run a sub 3 hour marathon? Running a sub 3 hour marathon sounds pretty self-explanatory, but what exactly does that entail? So let's start with easy runs and why they're so important. This is by far the hardest concept for people to grasp whenever they're starting out running. Easy runs are what's going to allow you to build your aerobic base. Think of your aerobic base as your foundation that you're going to build everything off of. And it doesn't matter whether you're training to run a mile, a 5K, a 10K, a half, or even a full marathon. Building a solid aerobic base is what's going to give you your endurance. It's what's going to allow you to run faster for longer periods of time. It's actually pretty counterintuitive whenever you think about it, but it really is true that you have to run slower in order to run faster. Another benefit to easy runs is because the intensity level is so low, you're going to be able to add a lot more volume to your training block, which is going to in turn allow you to build a larger aerobic base. It's also going to help you recover from those harder training sessions. So when I'm doing my easy runs, how do I know that I'm truly running easy? How do I know that I'm getting the maximum aerobic benefit from the runs that I'm doing? There's a few ways of doing this, but the way that I like to do it is I like to use heart rate. It's the way that I've done it since I first started, and it's worked really well for me over time. And I use what's called the MAF method, and that is what's used to determine your aerobic heart rate zone. So the way that you do this is you take 180 and you subtract your age from that. That gives you your upper aerobic threshold, and then subtract 10 from that. That gives you your lower aerobic threshold. So for me, I'm 29. So 180 minus 29 gives me 151 beats per minute. That's my upper aerobic threshold. Subtract 10 from that, and that gives me 141 beats per minute. That's my lower aerobic threshold. So whenever I'm going out for these runs, I'm keeping my heart rate between 141 and 151 beats per minute. The other way that you can monitor whether you're running easy or not is based off of your perceived effort. A lot of people refer to this as running at a conversational pace. So when you're running, if you were to be running next to somebody, if you could talk in full sentences to somebody, if you could have a conversation with them, if you could speak in full paragraphs, if you're breathing easy, if your breathing is not labored, then you know that you're running easy. If you're panting and gasping for air, then you're probably not running easy. So if you don't have access to any heart rate monitor or a chest strap or a Garmin watch, then this is another way that you can verify that you're running in the correct zone. And if you're going to start doing easy runs, don't worry about your pace. Pace isn't as important as staying in your aerobic or your easy zone. I remember when I first started running, my easy runs were around 14.5 minute per mile pace. And now my easy runs are around 8 to 8.5 minute per mile pace. So over weeks, months, and years of consistency and running in your aerobic zone, over time, your body will become more efficient and your pace will naturally drop. When you're doing your easy runs, don't worry about your pace. Just don't even worry about your pace. Just focus on making it easy and your pace will naturally drop over time. So what does my current training schedule look like? I train 6 days per week, Monday through Saturday, and Sundays are my rest days. So currently my training schedule looks like this. On Monday and Tuesday, I have easy runs. Typically right now, I'm ranging about 8 miles. So 8 miles on Monday, 8 miles on Tuesday. Wednesday is a track session, and that could be anything from 800 meter repeats, 1,000 meter repeats, mile repeats, long sections of mileage at marathon pace or faster than marathon pace, with very short rests in between, and it kind of varies from week to week. So Thursdays are easy run days. I'm currently at 8 miles for Thursdays. Fridays, the mileage drops slightly going into the weekend. On Fridays, I'm running 5 miles right now, and in those 5 miles, we're adding surges or strides just to keep some speed in the legs. And then Saturdays are my long run days, and currently I'm at 14 to 16 miles. I think this week coming up I have 18 miles, and those currently are easy runs. Eventually, later in the prep, those are going to turn into marathon specific workouts where I'm running blocks of mileage at marathon pace or slightly faster than marathon pace. There's going to be an episode coming out on that, so stay tuned for that, but we'll go into more detail whenever we get to those specific workouts. And finally, what the heck does it mean to run a sub 3 hour marathon? I know some people following me might not necessarily be runners, so I wanted to give some context as to what it takes to run a sub 3 hour marathon. To run a sub 3 hour marathon, I'm going to have to run 26.2 miles at a 6:52 minute per mile pace or faster. I've been running consistently for a little over a year now. The farthest distance that I've ever run is 16 miles, and I've only competed in 2 races, both this year, and both were 5Ks. So it's a pretty big jump from 5K to marathon. But those that know me know that I like to push myself, know that I like to set ambitious goals for myself, and know that I like to test my limits. And I truly believe that I'm going to run a sub 3 at the 2023 Houston Marathon on January 15th. Whether or not I actually run a sub 3, well, we'll just have to wait and see. If you've made it this far into the video, I truly appreciate you sticking around as I chase my dream of running a sub 3 hour marathon. Stay tuned for episode 2 coming soon. Thanks for watching.